I hate superficial people. In fact, I'll go one step further. I hate anything superficial. And the reason why, truthfully and honestly, is because I've woken up. I've actually had my eyes open to the bullshit that comes out of people's mouths, the bullshit that people believe in, and the bullshit lives they live as well. And if you're someone who's sick and tired of bullshit and actually wants to improve their lives through truth, join my free community, the No Bullshit Society. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Now, why the hell would I care about superficial people and things? Well, it's because I was superficial. It's because I was shallow. It's because I thought, key word there, I thought I was surface level. And if you've been the same way, and if you've acted or lived the same way, or starting to wake up to this bullshit as well, write it in the comments below. It could change and save a person's life. So, in my 20s, what did I really have to offer the world? Well, in my early 20s, I was a twice college dropout. I left 2 different colleges for 2 different reasons. I had little to no money, and I didn't have a clue where I was going in my life or what was going to happen in the future. But I dreamt of wealth. I dreamt of the trophy wife. I dreamt of a huge mansion. I dreamt of a Ferrari. I dreamt of all of these fine things and thought, if I've got the 6 figures in my bank account and so on, if I've got the nice house, I've got X, Y, and Z, then cool, I'm going to be set for life. And this is what gives me value, right? And then only when you start to make money, and only when you start to realize there's more to life and to you than the surface level, do you realize then how disgusting it is? Once you've, quote unquote, like been in bed with a narcissist, someone toxic, who I would say is the king or queen of superficial, shallow behavior and mentality, like I said, only then do you truly wake up. So for me, I made my 20s the bedrock of shallow living. I wanted a flash sports car. I got it. I wanted to wear designer clothes. I got it. I wanted, being based in London at the time, to be seen at the most fashionable places. This is even before Instagram. To go to the best clubs and bars and restaurants, and just to say, I'm with X, Y, and Z, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I got into bed with some club promoters as well, who were the most shallow and superficial ones I've ever met in my life. And so insecure that I thought, this is cool. I look cool. This is what it's all about. And then when I would go to these clubs, bars, and be around these idiots, or even date, etc., my natural character and personality came out. See, I was a people pleaser and naturally empathetic. That's my gift. That's why I'm a coach. But I didn't realize to what extent. And I had a war going on inside of me, with the narcissism and the superficiality taking over on one side, and the depth and meaning and truth on the other. It's no surprise I was so ill on and off. It was no surprise that my weight fluctuated. It was no surprise that I just felt and looked like shit and abused my body through alcohol, gambling, and many other activities. No drugs. It's not my style. So like I said, once I walked into the belly of the beast, once I truly saw what a narcissist is and what they represent and so on, everything changed for me. I assumed my life would be X, Y, and Z, to tick the boxes as such, to be surface level. And those things are great. You know, you want to settle down, have the house, the career, whatever. But without a why, and without depth, and if I've lost you already, then this video isn't for you. It's like building a house on sand. It's going to sink because there is no foundation there. So as I looked across at my then partner, who was narcissistic, social media obsessed, to the point that they lived their entire lives through the lens of social media as well, that everything was about money, everything was about looks and so on, I broke as a human being. Spiritually and emotionally, I was dead. My soul just fell apart and I was lost. I tried to fix everything through logic. I tried to reach out to people who advised me terribly. I tried to run away from the problem, when in actual fact, those very gifts I had all along, my empathy, my depth, my ability to be no bullshit, naturally, were so pushed down to the core of my stomach. Like I said, it was killing me. I had to let them out. I had to be myself. But it came at a cost. It came at the cost of that relationship, but also the cost of many friendships, the cost of certain family, and the cost of goals and aspirations. Suddenly, I stopped looking to want a Ferrari, and instead I wanted a car that made me feel comfortable and happy, that would cost far less, and feel safe. I wanted a beautiful partner. You need attraction, of course. But I wanted someone who knew me, the real me. Like literally, my most disgusting, my worst self. They can look at that and say, yeah, I love that guy. I found that. I still want a good home, but now I'm thinking, is size that important? Or is it location? Is it structure? Is it about the area, or is it about the future and life I want to live? And the way I spend my money as well. I hardly drink as much as I used to. I certainly don't party. But my money goes on my personal development. It goes on me spoiling my partner, who's not a princess, but, taking her out for a nice meal. Giving her flowers just because. And the same for the good people in and around my life. Just the other day, for the first time ever in my life, I took my aunt and uncle out for dinner after decades of them hosting us and looking out for us. And I couldn't believe it took that long. It may have been a lot for some, but for me, it was worth every penny. That's rich to me. That's depth because of the meaning behind everything. There is no meaning behind having a Rolex if you have no meaning. There is no meaning behind having a relationship if you don't know one another and never bother to learn one another. There's no meaning if you call yourself family and yet family's just the title. Do you really know what it means to be family? Do they really know? And your career. Before, I was money mad. Now, I love what I do. There are times where I earn jack shit. And there are times where I earn more money that I don't even know what to do with it. But it's part of the process. To see the connections and the beautiful souls and people I've met, especially through my community, which is free to join, the link's in the description below, has been life-changing. I hated working. I hated business, and I love it now because there's meaning behind it. The superficial people out in this world have no meaning. They just do. They buy Versace because it's Versace. They buy Gucci because it's Gucci. They post on social media for attention and online validation. They go get boob jobs, filler, Botox and so on to try look young, but end up looking more hideous and more plastic. And to what avail? To look good in a selfie? To look good to impress who? People who don't give a shit about you? When you wake up, and when you own it as well, everything changes. Your life changes. You see people for who they really are. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than coming to the realization that you're drifting apart from someone. or worse, you've left them behind. It has nothing to do with status, looks, money. That's superficial. But on a spiritual plane, a mental one, and an emotional one. It's why I've had the courage to walk away from friends and family and ex-partners very boldly, with no regrets. Because the superficial will always find the superficial. And if you wonder why they never get it, it's because they see life like this, surface level. And every single time they try to go deep, every time you beg and plead them to see more, all that happens is more gaslighting, more nonsense, and far more bullshit. But luckily I found hundreds of other people just like us who value depth, who seek through the nonsense and are no bullshit, and they are all congregated and joining in abundance together in my free community, the No Bullshit Society. The link is just down below. It is free to join, to level up through truth. Now, I think I know the answer to this question, but let's be meaningful here. Let's be deep. Why do you, whoever you are, wherever you are, hate superficial people? The superficial that's going on. I want you to share in the comments below and do so with meaning. Don't just write to impress others. Who gives a shit? It's the internet. Do it because you mean it. Because you never know what person's in a superficial life, job, and so on, who's on the brink of waking up and joining us through truth. Because once you live through truth, you unapologetically, authentically become your true self. Congratulations, welcome, you're here. And also, everything changes for the better as you live through peace. Think about it as you write it down below now.